episode 58 of our podcast, Cultivating a New Generation. In today's episode of Drops of Wisdom, we are going to talk about the book, The Sleep Revolution by Arianna Huffington. And we are going to discuss the topic about how to cure your sleep deprivation and enhance your energy. Yes, we are going to discuss all of the things that happen with our body in terms of the lack of sleep, in terms of the regulation of temperature, regulation of hormones, regulation of your mood, and of course the regulation of many of the metabolic activities, including the function of insulin and leptin, which are extremely important to regulate your sugar and your energy metabolism. So the moment you realize that your sleep is extremely important to your life, not only to rest your body, but also to form new brain pathways, new brain connections, to clean your brain from toxic debris, to boost your mood, and to increase your energy, that's the moment where you will be enjoying life simply and more in your waking time. And that's the moment you are going to be able to regulate a lot more your cycles of many of the neurotransmitters and many of the hormones and molecules that regulate your internal metabolism. Sleep deprivation is a widespread issue, not only in America but everywhere in the world, particularly affecting, that's something that has to be proven more, but particularly affecting social classes that are poorer in terms of income and in terms, of course, of financial stress. It is said that wealthier individuals tend to have better quality of sleep. That depends, of course, on the regulation of stress, and while poor neighborhoods often face additional challenges like noise disturbances, violence, and all of those things. But that is also subject to the place where you live and subject to the individual things that you are doing to regulate your stress. And sleep deprivation is a widespread also issue in terms of the time to initiate or to start school. Significantly impacts students' sleep patterns and academic performance. Starting school very early or at the usual times, it has been proven that it affects the performance of many students. It affects the academic knowledge and cognition, and just increasing 2 hours or allowing 2 hours to modify the schedules of the school and probably the jobs too, and starting school at 10 a.m. has been shown to improve test scores and learning abilities. So just by modifying a little bit the schedules for children to start school would be incredibly beneficial for them. More because they are in the development of the brain. Providing employees with nap rooms and with daylight options so that they can go and give a walk and do some contact with exercise and with nature is extremely good to productivity. Having flexible hours and the option to work from home, which has been now taken by many companies, enhances productivity. Windowless offices where they don't have this natural light negatively affect sleep, and workplaces that prioritize sleep have seen increments in productivity beyond the reality that they could imagine. Sleep quality and its impact on relationships and sexual desire are important factors. Couples who sleep close to each other generally report higher relationship satisfaction, or that synchronize their sleep patterns, their sleep cycles, because the more you are, of course, sleeping with your couple and she or he is next to you, you will synchronize those rhythms, and that will affect really good in order to sleep positively and affects, of course, women's sex drive. And athletes benefit also from adequate sleep for optimal performance, and research has shown that increasing sleep duration can lead to improved athletic performance, such as faster sprinting times and more successful shots in basketball players. And we also have seen that in nature, many of the animals of the feline strata, let's say, they have very well regulated cycles of sleep. They sleep a lot, and that's why they are extremely fast when they have to either get away from a predator or hunt. So that's a very good correlation in terms of what you can do if you are an athlete. Start extending the time that you are sleeping. Athletes also can be benefit for the regulation of many of these hormones and signals in the metabolic rhythms. The negative impact of electronic devices that use on sleep is very powerful and very permissive in terms of disrupting many of the hormonal rhythms and many of these metabolic signatures. Keeping smartphones by the bedside affects sleep quality, emotional well-being, anxiety levels, and of course neurotransmitters. So the blue light emitted by the screen suppresses melatonin production, which is released by the pineal gland, disrupting natural sleep patterns. And according to a psychiatrist very famous in UCLA, Dan Siegel, he said that if you are starting to use your screen at evening and you are constantly watching these type of screens, your body doesn't think that it's time to sleep because you are absorbing this kind of blue light, even if it's past midnight. When we finally try to go to sleep, you have so much activation of this pineal gland and the disruption of the melatonin release that you don't have now enough melatonin for regulation of sleep, and that will affect, of course, the time that you go to sleep, and you will skip some of the phases of sleep, or which will make it shorter, and by making them shorter you are going to start disrupting the cleaning patterns and affecting one region of the brain that is extremely important, which is the prefrontal cortex. That helps you to have more memory in the long term and helps you to solve problems and also regulates your mood. So what can you do to regulate your sleep and to start sleeping much better? Acupuncture, herbal remedies offer potential solutions for better sleep, meditation, exercise, but not exercise near to the time that you are going to go to sleep. You at least have to do exercise 2 or 3 hours before you go to sleep so that your body is not so activated, and many of the hormones and many of the release of metabolic substances and chemicals are not around in your body so much so that you can't sleep and you are still with a lot of energy. So acupuncture has been found to be effective in treating many types of insomnia, and acupressure can be self-applied to stimulate acupressure points. Medicinal herbs like lavender can also promote relaxation in these essential oils and improve sleep quality. Modern science has confirmed the powers of lavender that helps to regulate these kind of cycles and allow you to relax It has been proven to slow heart rate, decrease blood pressure, and lower the skin temperature, which is extremely important to getting a good night of sleep. New technologies and methods have been improving sleep and can aid in terms of allowing you to be more conscious attention to your breath, and practices like the Feldenkrais method have been used, which is a somatic practice that means learning from within, learning to regulate your own inhale and exhales patterns and rhythms, which increase body awareness and relaxation through gentle movements that can help individuals to achieve a better night of sleep. So how can I summarize this in just 2 quotes so that you can keep the main ideas? Keeping smartphones by the bedside affects sleep quality, emotional well-being, and anxiety levels. So just be mindful that they should be in another room where no one is sleeping, of course, or in the bathroom, or in the living room, away from you. Or if you want to keep them close because you have someone that can call you, just use the things that technology has given us to activate certain patterns of the phone that deviate all notifications and all calls, and download the interchange of frequency between the router and the cell phone, so that your brain and your sleep is not disrupted. Another phrase that we can use to summarize is a 2014 study at the University of Illinois found that employees who work in windowless offices lose an average of 46 minutes of sleep per night. So they really, almost 1 hour of sleep is gone just by not having a window in your office or not being in contact with the sunlight. So take account of those things, start improving your sleep, and start seeing sleep as an activity, not as something that is a waste of time, because it will never be a waste of time. Thank you very much for your attention. If you like this episode and the information here, please give me a comment, a like, send some stars, and of course, pass on the information for everyone that is struggling with sleep. Thank you, and have a wonderful afternoon and rest of the week. Bye.